I tend to think regenerative agriculture is creating more life, more biodiversity at all times. So we're basically doing the dance with Mother Nature so that she's thriving and ultimately we're thriving, and the animals that we raise are thriving, eating that nutrient-dense forage, creating nutrient-dense food for consumers. And it's a beautiful cycle of life. We're trying not to be extractive. You know, a lot of agriculture is extractive, take, and don't give back. And we're trying to balance it so that Mother Nature gets what she wants and we get what we want. Imagine what this place was like 200 or 300 years ago and what it looked like, where the herds of wild animals would be. And that's what we're trying to replicate. I guarantee they weren't here in this field every day for 365 days. They were moving, constantly moving. I'd be naive to say that I'm smarter than, you know, Mother Nature on this stuff. Like, she's always gonna win, but we wanna dance with her and hopefully ultimately get what we want, have it be a win-win. We don't wanna step on each other's toes. I'd say the main regenerative agricultural practices that we do are revolving around livestock and the way we rotate the livestock around. So we have a pulse grazing type situation where we, when the grass is ready, we put lots of animals in there for a short duration and we keep them moving so they always have fresh feed in front of them. And they can eat the grass in front of them, stomp on the grass below them, poop on what's behind them, help regenerate the soil. And so we move the cattle up and down the coast where the grass is more lush and delicious and nutrient dense, and we move them around the property accordingly so that we try not to do any harm by grazing. We try and allow the plants to rest and recover. What I mean by rest is like a plant has like free solar panels. Like you would have solar panels on your house. The plant leaves are solar panels. They capture the rays of sunlight and they basically photosynthesize and keep growing, and they pump liquid carbon into the soil, feed the microbes, bacteria, all the life in the soil. And that's the real carbon cycle of life. It works that way. In order to do that, you can't just keep taking bites out of it and bites out of it and bites out of it and having no solar panels and expect your solar to run. The other main things that we do is we apply some compost to uplands to help with fertility, increase fertility, and we've probably fenced off all of our riparian zones and planted about 10,000 trees. So it's trying to slow the water, increase carbon in the soil, and increase biodiversity both above ground and below ground. When we originally started our business, we were very conventional and we would sell all of our cattle to the highest bidder one time a year. Thankfully for us and for the animals, we would get the data back after they'd been through their time at the bidder, you know, whoever took the cattle. We'd get the data back on how many died, how many got sick. We saw for 3 years in a row that about 30% of our cattle that left here that would have normally been healthy if they just stayed here, about 30% were getting sick when they went to a feedlot. And I was like, why are we doing that? Like, what's the point of that? There's an emotional attachment to these animals. We raise them every single day since the day they were born so they have a good life. We try and decrease stress, not increase stress on the animals. So when we see them going away and getting sick, it's not good, and it made us want to change. So that was one of the biggest factors that made us want to change. If you take care of the animals, they're going to take care of you. And, you know, that's basically health-wise, financially, everything. And so we've done a really good job, I think, of trying to take good care of the animals, but doing it where we don't have to import a lot of outside input. So we're trying to do it with taking really good care of the soil, not overgrazing, having a living plant in the ground year-round, having lots of biodiversity. What do my cows eat? It kind of depends on the time of year, but it's always forage-based. Right now, it's green grass from a living plant in the ground. There are certain times of the year that the plants aren't growing or the plant community is not growing because the daylight is short or its temperatures are cold, and they'll eat stored forages, so stored hay. But mostly our cattle eat ryegrass and clover and whatever other annual grasses and perennial grasses that grow on our hills. I'd say we're doing it the hard way. What I consider the hard way is we're being 100% honest, 100% transparent, and we're trying to make quality product all the time. And all that stuff is economically challenging, and it takes time. And there's shortcuts you can do, but you basically, when you take shortcuts, you step on the toes of honesty, transparency, and quality. We've really kind of built our whole brand ethos around those things as pillars of our business. We don't take the shortcuts. We do it the hard way. We want to be more efficient. We're always doing new things. But we really want to be very, very resilient and have a following of people that love what we're doing and love the flavor and love the business and want to just keep supporting us. I think our relationship with Force of Nature is a unique one because they're a company that's willing to come and have a relationship with a small producer like me. You know, we have choices. We could sell beef to a lot of different people. We choose Force of Nature because they're lined up with us on our same principles and values. They actually care about us as ranchers and they want us to succeed. And that's a unique situation in the world today, with big brands especially. Really, to get this movement cranked up, we have to educate a lot more consumers and have them make, buying decisions that are accurate based on the way that the animal was raised. It is more expensive to raise animals the way we do. Sometimes consumers are willing to do that and sometimes they're not. But I mean, it's a challenge, but it's also a massive opportunity. I think in a fast-paced world right now, authenticity is just lacking. Like, people are dying for authenticity. They want to see it with their own eyes and they want to learn about it and see why it's different and why they're investing in their bodies and the health of their families. And so I think there's a big demand out there. We just have to continue to tell the story and do it as well as possible in an honest, transparent way. Looking at everything that we've built, I mean, I've touched every single fence post and every single building and every single road and every single field. There's literally 50 years worth of accumulation that I've been part of, and history that I've been part of that actually nobody else knows about. But I want to be able to pass that on because there's so many mistakes that I've made that I don't want the next generation to make, but we're constantly learning and evolving. And every year is different. I mean, every single year is different. It's never boring. Sometimes it's managed chaos. Sometimes it's chaos. There's no better work I think you can do in the world than raise super high quality, nutrient dense food. And that's kind of our goal. And what we're doing here is special. I want to be able to help spread the word and teach other people about how to do it.